Have you ever heard of a house so terrifying that no one who entered ever came back? For more than 20 years, people across the United States have whispered about a forgotten mansion hidden deep inside the forests of northern Pennsylvania. Police searched it. Paranormal investigators filmed it. Curious explorers tried to uncover its secrets. Some disappeared forever. Others were found days later, unable to explain what they had seen. Even today, locals refuse to speak its name after sunset. What really happened inside that abandoned house? Was it simply an old building filled with dangerous rumors? Or did something inside it never allow anyone to leave? This story is based on documented local legends, witness testimonies, and unexplained events that have circulated for decades. While some details remain disputed, the mystery surrounding the house continues to fascinate investigators across America. It all began in the summer of 2006. Hidden several miles away from the nearest highway stood an enormous Victorian mansion that locals simply called Ashcroft House. The house had once belonged to healthy businessman Henry Ashcroft, a man who built his fortune during the late 1800s through coal mining and railroad investments. Historical records confirm that the mansion was completed in 1898 and was considered one of the grandest private homes in the region. Old photographs showed beautiful gardens, elegant balconies, stained glass windows, and massive oak doors. But by the middle of the 20th century, everything had changed. The Ashcroft family suddenly abandoned the property. No official explanation was ever given. County records showed only that the estate remained vacant. Neighbors claimed the family left overnight. Furniture stayed inside. Personal belongings remained untouched. Dinner plates were reportedly still sitting on the dining table. From that day onward, strange stories began spreading throughout nearby towns. People claimed lights appeared inside the abandoned mansion, despite there being no electricity. Children reported hearing piano music drifting through the woods late at night. Hunters spoke of seeing figures standing silently behind broken windows before disappearing seconds later. At first, authorities dismissed these stories. Old buildings make strange sounds. Animals move through empty rooms. Wind can create frightening illusions. Everything seemed explainable, until people began disappearing. The first well-known case occurred in 1987. Two college students decided to spend one night inside the abandoned mansion. Their friends waited outside until sunrise. Neither student returned. Police organized a large search operation involving volunteers, dogs, and helicopters. Inside the mansion, they found sleeping bags, flashlights, backpacks, and an old camera. Everything suggested the pair had simply vanished. No signs of violence, no footprints leading away, no evidence of kidnapping. Months later, the investigation was officially suspended. Their families never received answers. Over the next decade, similar reports continued appearing. Urban explorers entered the property. Ghost hunters filmed documentaries. Treasure seekers searched the basement. Several people claimed to hear voices calling their names from empty hallways. Others described footsteps following them from room to room. A few fled in panic before reaching the second floor. Not everyone was fortunate enough to escape. Local newspapers occasionally reported hikers or explorers disappearing after entering the surrounding forest. Although police never officially connected every case to Ashcroft House, local residents believed the mansion was responsible. By 2006, interest in paranormal investigations had exploded across America. Television shows featured haunted locations every week. Internet forums filled with ghost stories. Ashcroft House quickly became one of the country's most mysterious, abandoned places. That October, 4 friends from Pittsburgh decided to investigate it themselves. Their names were Daniel, Chris, Amanda, and Laura. Unlike thrill-seekers chasing internet fame, they approached the trip carefully. They carried GPS devices, multiple cameras, flashlights, extra batteries, two-way radios. Even their relatives informed exactly where they were going. On a cold Friday evening, they parked their truck nearly half a mile from the mansion. The road ended long before the property. The rest of the journey required walking through dense forest. Daniel later wrote in his notebook that the silence felt unnatural. No birds, no insects, no wind, only their footsteps breaking dead leaves beneath their boots. After nearly 20 minutes, the trees suddenly opened. There it stood, Ashcroft House. Even after more than a century, the mansion looked intimidating. Broken windows stared like empty eyes. The roof had partially collapsed. Vines covered brick walls. The enormous front door hung slightly open despite years of abandonment. Amanda immediately noticed something unusual. There were no signs warning people away, no fences, no fresh graffiti, almost as if nobody had visited in years. The group entered cautiously. Dust covered every surface. Furniture remained exactly where old photographs had shown decades earlier. An antique grandfather clock stood motionless in the hallway. Portraits still decorated the walls. Many appeared damaged, but one painting remained untouched. It showed Henry Ashcroft himself. According to Daniel's notes, the painted eyes seemed to follow them as they walked past. Daniel laughed. "It's just perspective." Everyone agreed, at least initially. The first hour passed quietly. They photographed every room. Nothing appeared supernatural, just another abandoned mansion slowly decaying with age. Then Laura heard music, a piano, soft, slow, only a few notes. Everyone stopped. Silence returned. Chris searched nearby rooms. Nothing. No instruments, no speakers, no people. They continued exploring. The staircase leading upstairs creaked loudly beneath every step. Halfway to the second floor, Amanda suddenly froze. She whispered that someone had just walked across the hallway ahead. The others saw nothing. Thinking exhaustion was affecting their judgment, they continued. Upstairs contained dozens of bedrooms. Most were empty. One child's room still contained old toys scattered across the floor. A rocking horse gently moved, back and forth. No breeze entered through the broken windows. Nobody touched it. The movement lasted almost 30 seconds before stopping completely. Daniel began recording continuously. He no longer laughed. Neither did Chris. Around midnight, something happened that none of them could explain. Their radios stopped working simultaneously. Every flashlight flickered. GPS devices displayed impossible coordinates. According to Amanda's unit, they were nearly 200 miles away. The devices continued changing locations every few seconds. Then came the knocking. 3 slow knocks from inside the walls. Another 3, then more. The sounds surrounded them. No matter where they walked, the knocking followed them. Laura suggested leaving immediately. Everyone agreed. They rushed downstairs. Except the front door had disappeared. Not physically. The hallway itself looked different. Rooms no longer matched the floor plan they had explored earlier. Doors opened into different rooms. Windows overlooked walls instead of the forest. Daniel later described it as walking through a maze that kept changing. Panic spread quickly. They tried smashing a window. The glass refused to break. Chris struck it repeatedly with a metal flashlight. Nothing happened. The window vibrated but remained intact.
Amanda began crying. She claimed someone was whispering directly behind her. When the others turned, nobody stood there. At approximately 1:40 a.m., Daniel's camera captured something remarkable. While filming the hallway, a tall shadow briefly appeared at the far end. It resembled a person wearing old-fashioned clothing. The figure remained perfectly still. Then it slowly stepped backwards into complete darkness.
Daniel immediately ran toward it. The hallway was empty. No doors, no hiding places, nothing. Minutes later, Chris vanished. 1 second he walked beside the group. The next, he was simply gone. They screamed his name repeatedly. No answer. Only distant knocking echoed through the mansion. Daniel searched every room. Amanda and Laura stayed together. Nearly 15 minutes passed before they heard Chris shouting from somewhere below them. The strange part was impossible. There was no basement beneath that section of the house. His voice sounded close, yet completely unreachable. Then it stopped forever. The remaining three desperately searched for another exit. Finally, Amanda spotted faint moonlight shining through a cracked door. They sprinted toward it. The door opened directly into the forest. Without looking back, they ran. Branches cut their faces, roots tripped their feet. They continued running until sunrise. When they reached the parked truck, another shock awaited them. Their watches indicated only 6 hours had passed, but the truck battery was dead. Food inside had spoiled. A newspaper lying on the passenger seat displayed a date 4 days later than when they had arrived. Police later confirmed the group had been missing nearly 96 hours. Search teams had already begun looking for them. Daniel, Amanda, and Laura insisted they had spent only one terrifying night inside Ashcroft House. Chris was never found. Investigators searched the mansion once again, this time using structural engineers, ground-penetrating radar, cadaver dogs. Nothing explained his disappearance. The house contained no hidden tunnels, no secret rooms, no underground chambers capable of trapping someone. Perhaps even stranger, investigators discovered Daniel's video camera lying exactly where he claimed to have carried it. Most footage appeared normal, until the final 3 minutes. The recording suddenly filled with static. A deep humming noise echoed repeatedly. Then, for less than 2 seconds, a face appeared inches from the camera. It wasn't Chris. It wasn't Daniel. No member of the investigation recognized the individual. Video experts examined the recording for years. No evidence of editing was found. Skeptics argued the image resulted from damaged videotape. Paranormal researchers disagreed. Interest in Ashcroft House exploded. Television crews requested access. Documentary filmmakers arrived. Historians researched the Ashcroft family. One discovery surprised everyone. County death certificates revealed that several members of the Ashcroft family died inside the mansion during an unexplained illness between 1903 and 1905. However, newspaper archives describing the incident had mysteriously disappeared. Some pages were missing. Others appeared deliberately removed. No one knew why. Former residents offered another disturbing piece of history. According to local oral tradition, the mansion had actually been built over an older structure dating back to the early 1700s. That original building reportedly served as an isolated shelter during disease outbreaks. Hundreds of people may have died there. No official records confirmed the claim. Yet archaeological surveys suggested foundations older than the Victorian mansion did exist beneath the property.
Whether coincidence or something more sinister, strange events continued affecting visitors. Compasses malfunctioned, camera batteries drained unexpectedly, electronic equipment randomly failed. Several investigators reported hearing children laughing in completely empty rooms. Many refused to return. Today, the exact location of the house remains intentionally difficult to identify. Some believe this protects curious visitors. Others think the mystery itself has become larger than the building. Was Ashcroft House truly haunted? Could psychological stress inside an isolated environment explain every terrifying experience? Or did something hidden beneath that century-old mansion influence everyone who entered? No investigation has produced definitive answers. Chris remains missing. The unexplained video recording still puzzles analysts, and local residents continue avoiding the surrounding forest after dark. Perhaps the greatest lesson from this story is not whether ghosts exist. It is the reminder that curiosity without preparation can become dangerous. Abandoned places are often structurally unstable, legally restricted, and capable of creating powerful psychological effects that make ordinary situations feel terrifying. Sometimes legends grow from fear. Sometimes fear grows from real tragedies. And occasionally, there are places where the truth remains locked behind doors that no one should ever open. The mystery should have ended there. 3 survivors, 1 missing friend, an abandoned mansion, an investigation with no answers. For most people, that would have been enough, but the story of Ashcroft House was only beginning. Over the next several years, investigators from across the United States continued trying to solve the mystery. Some were professional historians, others were structural engineers, a few were experienced paranormal researchers. Each arrived believing they would finally expose the truth. Almost every one of them left with more questions than answers. In the spring of 2008, a retired police detective named Robert Hayes became obsessed with the disappearance of Chris. Unlike ghost hunters searching for supernatural evidence, Hayes focused entirely on facts. He gathered every available police report, interviewed former officers, studied weather records, collected property maps dating back more than a century. His conclusions surprised everyone. The official investigation had overlooked several strange inconsistencies.
For example, the footprints surrounding the mansion never matched the number of people entering or leaving. In multiple investigations, officers documented 4 sets of footprints entering the woods. Only 3 returned. Sometimes 6 entered, 5 returned. It happened often enough that detectives quietly discussed it among themselves, although no official report suggested paranormal causes. Hayes believed there had to be a rational explanation. Perhaps abandoned mine shafts existed beneath the property. Perhaps smugglers used hidden tunnels. Perhaps someone secretly occupied the mansion. To test his theory, he assembled a small research team consisting of an architect, a geologist, and 2 former search and rescue specialists. Unlike previous visitors, they planned every detail. They installed satellite trackers on each member. Every person carried 2 independent GPS units. Helmet cameras recorded continuously. Outside the property, another team monitored radio communications 24 hours a day. If anything happened, help would arrive immediately. On October 14, 2008, shortly before sunset, the team entered Ashcroft House. The first 2 hours appeared completely normal. The building matched previous floor plans. Rooms remained unchanged. Dust covered every surface. Nothing unusual appeared on camera. Outside observers watched every movement through the live video feeds. At exactly 8:17 p.m., everything changed. Without warning,
All 5 helmet cameras briefly froze. Only 3 seconds passed. When the video returned, every member of the team stood in different locations inside the mansion. No one remembered moving. Even stranger, the outside monitoring station confirmed that all 5 radio signals had disappeared simultaneously before reconnecting moments later. The lost time lasted only 3 seconds, yet none of the investigators could explain how they had become separated. Hayes immediately ordered everyone to regroup. As they walked back toward the central hallway, the architect suddenly noticed something impossible. A doorway had appeared where no doorway existed earlier. The entire team examined it carefully. Fresh wooden trim surrounded the entrance. Unlike the rest of the decaying mansion, the wood looked almost new. The door itself was closed. No dust covered its surface. It looked as though someone had installed it only days earlier. Hayes carefully turned the handle. The room beyond measured barely 10 feet across. Empty walls, wooden floor, nothing else. After photographing the room from every angle, the team left. Only minutes later, they attempted to return. The doorway was gone. The wall stood completely solid. Old wallpaper covered every inch of brick. Even after comparing photographs with the actual hallway, no explanation could be found. The measurements proved they had not mistaken the location. The mysterious room had apparently vanished. The strange discoveries continued throughout the night. Thermometers showed sudden temperature drops of nearly 30 degrees within seconds. Digital watches stopped and restarted repeatedly. Voice recorders captured sounds none of the investigators heard in person. When later analyzed in a recording studio, several whispered phrases became noticeable beneath the static. The clearest seemed to say, "Don't stay." Audio engineers warned that damaged recordings often create patterns the human brain interprets as speech. Others remained convinced the voices were genuine. Near midnight, the geologist requested permission to inspect the basement foundations. Historical maps suggested older construction beneath the mansion. Hayes agreed. The team slowly descended a narrow stone staircase. Unlike the upper floors, the basement remained surprisingly well preserved. Moisture covered ancient brick walls. Old iron pipes stretched across the ceiling. Broken shelves lined one corner. Then the geologist noticed something unusual. One wall produced a hollow sound when tapped. Using portable scanners, the team detected an empty space beyond the bricks. Excitement quickly replaced fear. Could this finally explain the disappearances? Perhaps a hidden chamber had remained undiscovered for a century. With permission from county officials obtained before the expedition, they carefully removed several loose bricks. Behind the wall lay a narrow passage. Fresh air drifted outward despite no visible ventilation. The tunnel extended into darkness. It was barely wide enough for one person. Hayes hesitated. Every instinct told him to turn back, but years of unanswered questions pushed him forward. The team entered single file. The tunnel continued for nearly 60 feet before opening into a circular underground chamber. Its walls were made from rough stone, far older than the Victorian mansion above. Ancient wooden beams supported the ceiling. At the center stood a weathered stone well. No one expected to find a well beneath the basement of an already elevated hill. The discovery made little geological sense. The geologist examined the surrounding rock. His expression immediately changed. "This isn't natural," he whispered. The walls were carved. The chamber appeared intentionally constructed long before the mansion existed. Nearby, they discovered rusted lanterns, old tools, and dozens of hand-carved symbols covering the stone. None matched modern English. Some looked far older. The rescue specialist photographed every inch of the chamber. Suddenly, his camera flashed by itself. No one had pressed the shutter. The screen displayed a photograph they had never taken. It showed the entire team standing around the well, but there was one extra figure. A tall man, dressed in dark 19th century clothing, stood directly behind Robert Hayes. Everyone turned instantly. No one was there. The investigator slowly lowered the camera. His hands were shaking. No one spoke for several minutes. Then, they heard footsteps. Not ahead of them, not behind them, above them, directly overhead, as though someone was walking across the basement ceiling, inside a house that was supposed to be completely